Tatiana Arrington with What the Film here, and I'm here with the stars of Growing Pains, Molly, Deanna. Am I saying your name right, Deanna?
Deanna.
Deanna. Molly and Deanna, how are you both today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good. So I screened your film yesterday, and I'm super excited for people to see it. First of all, just like initially, how are you guys feeling?
I'm super nervous about it. I'm like, I just wonder how people will receive it. Like, just having my family friends see me on screen, that's like so scary. So I'm feeling very nervous, but also very excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really, really exciting. Sorry. Um, I'm really excited to see everyone who worked on the movie and was in the movie. It's been a while since everything happened, so it's kind of like all coming together. It's like the anticipation has been like so much fun. I'm really excited.
Yeah, I really want to jump into I feel like how did you guys even get involved with the project to start? Like, what drew you to this project and was like, oh, I have to be a part of this? And
I
anybody
think
can start.
I got you. I think for me, it was one of the first. I had just started getting back into acting. I took a break during high school. And then when I graduated, I took another break because I was kind of scared of jumping back into the industry and what it would mean. I was just really scared of failing.
Mhm.
And then once I determined that that fear shouldn't stop me from pursuing my passion, and that fear couldn't stop me from pursuing my passion, really, I started going on backstage and getting more active with student films, trying to get my reel up. And then through backstage, Catherine reached out to me, and so when I read the sides and heard about the story, the message, I just felt like I needed to do it, and it was so
Yeah.
exciting to have an opportunity to jump right back into the acting that I wanted to do.
I'm glad you didn't let fear hold you back. I'm glad, I'm glad
Mhm.
we were able to get to see you in this project. Molly, what about you? Because this is your debut, right?
Yes, so this is the first film project I've ever worked on. I actually saw Growing Pains. Catherine posted an ad looking for rowing extras on my rowing page in high school. And I looked on the link in Backstage, and she was still looking for the lead. And I noticed that the lead kind of had like a similar story to me, and had the same scar on our stomachs. And I was like, wow, like
Yeah.
this, it was like calling to me. And I had no experience, as I said. So I emailed Catherine and I was like, this is the universe putting us together. And she completely agreed. And it's been a really meaningful like story for both of us, like Catherine and I kind of connecting for the shared medical history.
hmm
Yeah.
That's incredible. Wait, first of all, just to backtrack, I didn't know that you could actually row. So multi-talented here. I love to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's incredible. And I feel like the film also just addresses so many topics, right? Like acceptance, body issues. How do you think the film contributes to this conversation around these issues?
I think the issue about um like the body image and like the things like that, it kind of shows like how easy it is to kind of like go down that rabbit hole of unhealthy habits, um,
Yeah.
and how susceptible like preteen girls are to that.
Mhm.
And I think you'll see like in the end of the film, it kind of like wraps up with like acceptance and like leaning on the people around you and having a good support system. And that's what I think.
Right. I mean, there's so many different forms of that, I feel like too, because your character, Deanna, is struggling with a different type of acceptance.
Mhm.
Um, that is, so many teens, I feel like, and young people struggle with as well. What was your experience like portraying that on camera?
Yeah, I feel like my experience portraying that I had to tap into just the innocence of it. And I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times people when they do talk about like gay films or queer films, it has a very like sexual connotation, and I feel like because this, and even like portrayed on TV film, like it can be very sexualized, and I feel like
Right.
we're very young, and I wanted to tap into the idea that first love is always innocent, no matter what kind of love it is. And
Yeah.
it starts super softly and gently, and then it snowballs and gets bigger, and it becomes, bigger than itself. But
Mhm.
when you're first starting with it, it's very, very innocent and very
Right.
pure. And that's what I wanted to capture, with.
Oh yeah, I think you did such a great job of that because it's when you do first like somebody, it's not, it's not sexualized at all. It's
Mhm.
more just about their aura or what they look like or things like that. So I really, that's such a important thing that you highlighted. So I would argue that I feel like these days we don't have enough coming of age films for young people, young
Mhm.
girls. Like, what were some of you guys' favorite like coming of age films when you were growing up?
I really liked The Way Back. Do you remember that one? It was like about this like teen boy who he like it was over the summer, and he started working at a water, what do you call it? Oh my God, I'm like one of those water parks, a water park.
Okay. Okay.
And it was super cute and super innocent. I remember I watched that movie like 3 times because I was just like, oh my God, like I felt seen. Or
Yeah.
like I'm like I want to. I don't know, and I think it took place in New England, so New England summer, and I was
Mhm.
just like,
I
yeah,
haven't seen that one yet. I got to add that one to my list.
really cute.
Okay. Okay. Molly, what about you?
Growing up, I'm not sure, but the first one I thought of was like Lady Bird, or like
Mhm.
even like a super awkward one, but like eighth grade, like super funny and like honestly like real. Like I feel like both of those films kind of like have a little bit of a crossover with Growing Pains as well.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to bring that up because I just feel like coming of age stories are they're getting like left behind a little bit and I'm like, no, we need more of it. And I'm so glad like Growing Pains is going to be added, to that genre. Um, and your film was actually featured at Sundance. Everybody just doesn't get to go to Sundance. So yes, major
Yeah, that's
class.
amazing.
How does it feel to be part of a film that has received like such recognition already?
It's just insane. It's
Yeah.
really, it's really insane. I'm just shocked and honestly speechless. Like I can't believe that with our first film, and even Catherine's directorial debut was able to
Mhm.
be featured at Sundance, especially for the diversity spotlight. Like that doesn't just happen. And
Right.
I'm really glad that we were able to be part of this project.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like adding on to that, it's so surreal again as like a first project and like a first like directorial debut for Catherine. It's just like so like so exciting and like just like honestly congratulations to like everyone involved. It's like right, that doesn't just happen.
Hmm.
Yeah. What is a message that you hope audiences take away from watching Growing Pains? There's so much to take away from, but is there anything that you want to highlight, like you feel like should be really highlighted? Like if you get this one thing from this movie, this is what you should take away.
I think personally, and I've been saying this a lot as I've watched the movie and done like other, just like ruminated on it. I feel like growing pains aren't just something that happens when you're, growing up or when you're younger, or it's not something that happens during a certain um age range. You always have growing pains in every facet of your life, but they're necessary because they allow you to grow and become a better person. You can't grow if you don't have adjustments, or you don't, have to make changes in your life if you don't have growing pains. And I hope that when people like watch the movie, they, they see our growing pains and see how we've grown, but also recognize that they're probably still growing too. And if
Yeah.
this person can make it through it, I can make it through it. And just excited for what's to come in life.
Right. We've all had our own, growing pains. Some people had to get braces, some people had to do this. Did you guys take any of your personal growing pains and like use that as a force for your character?
Definitely, I think as like friendships kind of like ebb and flow and drift away and like you make new
Yeah.
friendships and things like that, especially in like middle school, high school. Um I think that's a universal experience. And I think Deanna and I at the time were both kind of like going through a little bit of that. So it was special for us to like connect about that and
Yeah.
like also create a friendship with each other on
Mhm.
set, I think was really special.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
it was
love
so special. It was so so special. And I remember like while I was filming, I was going through something so similar
that.
with my
Mhm.
like best friend of like 13 years. I mean,
Yeah.
we are just going through a growing pain with each other, a huge growing pain. And I remember like, filming the movie and trying to figure out how I can tie in my personal experience while also with Nat's, experience, but while also protecting myself and understanding that my growth and what I'm going through is my own. And while I can lend it to Nat, how her story ends isn't necessarily how my story ends. And
Right.
that while she might have healed, I still have my healing to do and I still have my work that needs to be done. That was like an interesting kind of
Better preach.
go
Yes.
through. And a really good lesson too,
Yeah.
honestly.
And I know this is just, the beginning for both of you. You have like such a bright future ahead of you, right? Yeah. Is there anybody in the industry that you feel like you would love to work with eventually, or you would be like, oh, if I could, my first film is at Sundance. If I could have a career like this moving forward, you would kind of admire, taking those first like baby steps into the industry.
The first person who comes to my mind, just because I watched her last night, um, is she's an up and coming star. Her name is Sarah. I hope I'm not saying her last name right. Sarah Pigeon. And she was in The Wilds on Amazon Prime, and it was another show, and I always forget its name, but it was on Prime Video as well.
Yeah.
And she just did Stereophonic, which had its Broadway debut yesterday, and or 2 days ago, and I went to see it yesterday.
Mhm.
And her career, I want to work with her so bad because she's one of the one of the few artists that I've seen coming into the scene who's so genuine and so into their physicality and embodies realism and
Yeah.
knowing how to an internal acting more than anything. And it's so funny because I met her once at my coffee shop and I was like, girl, I love you. I was like, I can't believe I'm meeting you right now. I just want to tell you, I love you. And it was so nice seeing her yesterday up on stage. I was like, oh my gosh, she's so good. So in my eyes, I'm like, one day if I get to work with her, that would be so fun. It's so funny because she's still coming up too. I feel like not too many people know her, but I'm like, just
Yeah.
you will
Right.
know her.
It's coming.
It's coming. She's amazing, and I hope she gets so many more opportunities. And hopefully, we get to work together one day.
I love that. Molly, what about you? Any future, you see acting in your future? More
Um,
act.
well, for me, I'm currently in college, as you can see, like my
Okay,
dorm.
I was wondering,
Yeah.
I wasn't too sure, but okay. Loving the vibe
So
though.
yeah, I actually filmed Growing Pains right before my senior year of high school. So I haven't gotten another chance to keep acting on film. But we'll see where it takes me after college. Never say
Yeah.
never. Um, yeah.
The world is your oyster. I love it. Well, ladies, thank you guys so much for talking with me today. I can't wait for everyone to see Growing Pains, such a necessary part of life, but also, it just gets better after that. And there's so much that can open up, from growing pains and from meeting, connecting, learn new people and learning about yourself and your body. So it was a pleasure to talk to you both today, and your futures are very bright. So
Thank
I look
you.
Thank
forward
you
to
so
talking to
much.
you guys again soon.
Likewise. Thank you so much for reaching out to us.
Of
Really
course, of
appreciate it.
course.